I'm Joanna Simpson here at QuantMinds International in Vienna, and joining me now is John Hull, Maple Financial Professor of Derivatives and Risk Management, Joseph L. Rotman School of Management at University of Toronto. Thank you very much for joining me.
My pleasure.
And just tell me, what are the different types of machine learning and why are there so many of them?
Well, yes, machine learning is really the most exciting area within artificial intelligence right now. And the reason why there's so many different types of machine learning is because there's just so many different problems to solve out there. I mean, one sort of machine learning is looking for patterns in data, what we call clusters. And you might use that, for example, to understand your customers better so that you know how to communicate with them better, you know what product they're going to buy next, that sort of thing. Then there's a whole slew of machine learning algorithms which are for prediction. And there's a number of different types of prediction you might want to do. For example, it might be a classification. You might want to predict whether a loan is going to be good or whether it's going to default. So you're classifying loans into two different categories there. Or you might be predicting the value of a variable. You might want to predict there's been quite a lot of discussion of this at this conference, predict the best hedge for a particular situation. And then there's problems where you're interacting with the environment. You take a decision, the environment changes, you take another decision. So you're looking at a sequential set of decisions. Self-driving cars would be an example of a sequential decision process. So there's lots of problems, and you need different algorithms to solve different problems.
So to what extent is quantitative finance using machine learning, and are we just scratching the surface?
Yeah, I mean, machine learning's had a huge impact, I think, on finance. Let me give you some examples. Private equity, for example. My students like this example because they all want to work in private equity. But private equity, you're trying to decide which of a number of different companies to invest in. And you can use machine learning to describe the characteristics of companies that have performed well in the past. For example, the growth rate, the management structure, and that sort of thing. I mentioned lending decisions before. You'll find that virtually all banks now, in fact, use machine learning for lending decisions, and it's been found that machine learning algorithms can do at least as well, if not better, than human beings. Trading, there's lots, machine learning algorithms are used a lot to develop trading strategies. We've talked a bit at this conference about using machine learning to price derivatives more quickly than other methods such as Monte Carlo simulation. So yeah, in terms of are we just scratching the surface, yeah, I think machine learning is going to have a bigger and bigger impact on finance as time goes by. This is what I tell my students, that really you've got to get comfortable with this because data science or machine learning, whatever you want to call it, will affect pretty much all aspects of finance going forward. You won't be able to escape it, so you might as well learn a little bit about it.
So how do you see the role of machine learning developing in the future?
Well, I do see it becoming progressively more important. I think there'll be more and more applications. I mean, you might think of something like human resources as being an area that's immune from artificial intelligence and machine learning, but actually that's not true. A large bank, for example, gets a huge number of resumes, and what it does these days is, rather than have a human being go through the resumes are all read electronically and classified using a machine learning algorithm, and then based on experience of which employees have worked out well, you maybe will just look at the top 3% or something like that. So I think we're going to see more and more of machine learning. I mean, one question I often get asked is, does this mean there'll be no role for human beings? And my standard answer to that is, of course, there will be some tasks that machine learning takes over from human beings, but human beings are important. It's been proved over and over again that a human being plus a machine works better than a human being on its own, but it also works better than a machine on its own. You need a human being to know when a particular algorithm is appropriate, when data that's been collected in the past has been appropriate, and that sort of thing.
That's very interesting. John Hull from University of Toronto, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.